All right, ladies and gentlemen of the internet world, welcome. Good morning. This is TJ Jones. I'm with Vertical Journey Martial Arts, and today begins our first day of our 20 Days of Taekwondo Challenge. I'm super excited. This is going to be awesome. So, what we're doing this month is for the last 20 days of the month of July, we're going to be doing a little short workout every morning. And I hope you guys go ahead and like and share and subscribe so that you guys can all participate in this all month long. If you're gonna do it with us, just smash that like button and then comment down below saying I'm in. We're super excited to see how many people do this with us. It's gonna be great. These are gonna be simple, basic workouts. You're not gonna need any equipment for them except stuff you might find around your house, like a wall or like maybe a couch or a chair that you can use to prop yourself up while you're working on that balance, those balance skills. So, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna start with a basic warm-up, which is gonna be super, super easy, but we know it's early in the morning. We wanna make sure everybody's joints and ligaments and everything are ready to move. We wanna train safely while we're training. So let's start with our basic warm-up. We're gonna start with something called joint rotations. What I want you to do is just put your hands out in front of you with your elbows kind of stuck to your sides and just rotate those wrists. This starts to warm up those forearms and make them ready to move for some of the stuff we're gonna do later on. All right, now if you notice I'm wearing my Gypsy t-shirt today. This is Team Gypsy. I'm not affiliated with Team Gypsy, but they do a lot of cool stuff. Team Gypsy is a sport karate team from the state of Texas. All of their members are recruited from Texas schools, and they are really awesome. They do some great stuff out there in the competition world, so I'll post a link to them in the description of this video if you want to go check them out. All right, now I want you to take your hands and make fists with them and keep those elbows glued to your sides and just make circles with your forearms. This is going to start to warm up all those adductors in your shoulders and in your forearms there, turning everything out. Excellent. Don't forget to take nice deep breaths while you're doing this. Awesome. Now switch directions. Let's go to the inside. Sometimes when we're trying to get started with something, like maybe you are with your martial arts journey, we struggle with knowing what to do. And that's one of the reasons we're doing this 20 Days of Taekwondo Challenge, is that we want to make sure that everybody knows what to do. You've got something to work on. That's going to give you a little bit of that accountability and give you the opportunity to work on stuff at home, even if it's just for a few minutes every day. All right, the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to rotate our neck. So put your feet shoulder width apart, and then your hands just on your hips here, and then gently and slowly rotate your neck over to the side and around and up and around. We're going to do this about 5 times one way and then about 5 times the other way. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to go back this other direction. Awesome. All right, now we're going to keep our hands on our hips here. We're going to put our feet together. We're going to do a little exercise that we like to call the hula hips. It's just a funny name for it, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to warm up our lower back and our hips by rotating around in a circle. This may take a little bit of coordination if you've never done any kind of training at all. This may be a little bit difficult for you at first, but it won't take long for you to get it. Some of the stuff we're going to do today is going to be pretty simple, so if you're really bored with this exercise, don't worry, it's going to get more complicated later on. I'm also going to be trying to give more advanced versions but more basic versions of each technique as we go along through our 20 Days of Taekwondo Challenge, so that if something's a little bit too difficult for you, you can just work on the basic version. If something's a little bit too basic for you, you can work on the advanced version. All right, excellent. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work our knees a little bit. So we're going to bend our knees. I like to put my hands on my knees for this exercise, and we're going to move our knees around in a circle. Start to warm up all those ligaments and get that cartilage well lubricated right around the knees. We don't want to have any knee injuries while we're training. Martial arts should be a lifelong practice, and so we want to make sure that our bodies are in good shape. We don't want to push them too hard. Go ahead and switch and go the other direction. Excellent. Okay, now the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to stretch out our ankles just a little bit. We're going to put our feet shoulder width apart. And now what we're going to do is we're going to roll our ankles to the outside and just push, 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 push. And try to stretch out those ankles a little bit. If you've got weak ankles, you may not want to push this too hard, or you may only want to push one side at a time. but just hold that stretch for just a minute. Excellent. Now we're going to do it to the inside, so we're going to put our feet a little bit further apart. And we're going to kind of let our knees kick in a little bit here. This is a bit unusual. We wouldn't normally do a stance like this because this is a weak stance here, but we're trying to get those ankles ready to rock and roll. So we're going to put ourselves in this position just temporarily. Excellent. Okay. Now just raise up on those feet and then back down, up and down. Good. All right, everything should be nice and loose now. We're going to stretch things out just a little bit. We're going to do something called the tripod stretch. We're going to put our feet double shoulder width apart right here. We're going to reach up to the sky and stretch out our belly. Get those abdominals ready to work out a little bit. Stretch out that lower back. Now take a nice deep breath. Oh, stretch out those lungs. Now exhale and slowly reach for the floor. We're just going to put our hands on the floor if you can. If you can just get your fingertips down there, that's great. Either way is fine. We're going to try to put those hands on the floor. We're stretching out the lower back and the hamstrings right now. We're going to hold this for about 10 to 15 seconds. When we're stretching for flexibility, we generally stretch a little bit longer than that, but since we're just stretching to warm up right now, we're not going to hold it for too long. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to one side. So go ahead and stand back up. Good. Take a deep breath. Exhale and reach down for your right foot. Now, generally in these videos, if I'm saying right or left, I'm going to be mirroring for you. So you can just go down to the same side I am, and that should be your right or left side. So if I say it's the right side, I'm going to be moving to my left. Excellent, and stand back up. Good. Now down to your left side. Take another deep breath. And exhale. Good. Breathe out and stretch, stretch, stretch. Don't push yourself too hard. Remember, your muscles may not be warmed up yet unless you've already been moving around. Maybe you're watching this video later in the day or on a completely different day and you're already warmed up and you're just wanting a little bit more to add to your workout today. That's just fine. Then you won't have to worry about moving as slowly, and you can go a little bit more deeply into your stretches. Excellent. All right, come back up. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to warm up our hips a little bit. We're going to get some motion going here. This is a great skill to work on for our Taekwondo training. I'm a Taekwondo practitioner, and because of that, I like to use a lot of kicks. And so I'm going to warm up my hips this morning, and I hope you do this with me as well. We're going to do something called wobble walks. They're pretty simple. All you're going to do is take one knee. You're going to bring your hands up here, stand with your feet shoulder width apart. You're going to take that one knee, you're going to lift it up and across your body. Then you're going to try to kind of draw a rainbow with it and set your foot down to the outside. We're practicing opening up those hips. Now we're going to alternate and do it the other side. Great. We're going to work this for about 30 seconds to a minute here. Just nice and slow. Opening those hips, thinking about lifting that knee nice and high. I like to really point my toes on this and extend my leg so that I'm making a really long blocking surface there. I'm not actually practicing a block right now, but for a lot of the kicks that we do in Taekwondo, we like to point our toes for several reasons. One, because we use the top of our foot to strike, and two, because it looks pretty. It also gives us a longer striking surface and a longer blocking surface. So if we practice that pointing of the toe while we're doing our warm-up, then we don't have to think about it as much when we're trying to do our kicks later on, which we are going to be doing, so look forward to those. Excellent. Okay, so now those hips should be nice and warm. We're going to do one more warm-up exercise, and that is helicopters. Basically, this is just a turn and reach. I'm actually going to turn sideways for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hands up here in front of my body. I'm going to have my feet shoulder width apart, and then I'm just going to turn and reach behind me with one hand. And then I turn and reach behind me with the other hand. Now, we're just going to allow ourselves to turn back and forth. Nice and easy. Don't get in too much of a hurry here. We'll do this about 15 or 20 times. The kids always like this exercise because they tend to let their feet go and spin all the way around. Try to look back at the hand that's going behind you. It's going to allow you to rotate a little bit further. Make sure that spine is nice and lubricated, nice and warmed up. Excellent. You should be able to go just a little bit further by now. That spine should be loosening up a little bit. Get that good rotation in there. Excellent. Okay. Awesome, so our bodies are pretty well warmed up now. We're gonna jump right into our strength portion of our training today. We're gonna start with something super simple. This is just gonna be wall push-ups. So if you're not near a wall, go ahead and pause the video and jump over near a wall. Or if you've got something like I do, like my Century double XL bag here, these are great bags. I love this bag and I hope you guys get one at some point. But I'm gonna use this as my wall today. Now, when you do wall push-ups, it's really very simple. You're gonna put your body about arm's length away from the wall, and then step another foot length back. Your hands are going to be flat on the wall, and you're just going to allow yourself to lean a little bit. What you don't want to do is this, where your upper back is leaning in, but your legs are not. We want to be able to lift our whole body. We want to practice using our core to keep our body straight here. Now, because my bag is narrow, I'm going to do an advanced version known as diamond push-ups. I'm going to have my hands in this position right here. For those of you that are a little stronger, you might want to try that. For those of you that aren't quite to that level yet, that's okay. Just put your hands shoulder width apart, right at shoulder level. We don't want to be down here or way up here. That puts a lot of strain on the rotator cuff and a lot of strain on the muscles that aren't built up yet. So, for those of you that want the advanced version, go ahead and put your hands in that diamond position. We're going to do about 1 minute of these. Get ready, get set, and begin. With the diamond push-ups, we're really working the triceps. We're also working a bit of balance and core work here to make sure that our body doesn't roll to one side or the other. If you're doing regular push-ups, you're still working the same triceps, but with a little bit less impact. Right now I'm keeping my heels on the floor. I don't want to stretch up so far that my heels are coming up off of the floor. This is also a great drill for making sure that you can keep your heels on the floor. If you're struggling with that, you may want to do some calf stretches at the end of the exercise today so that you know that your calf muscles can stretch out and get a little bit longer. That may be a weak point for you, and that's okay. Everybody starts at their own place in the journey, and so we want to make sure that we're not beating ourselves up if we can't do something, or getting overly excited if something's really easy. We want to move on to something that makes things a little bit harder. All right, there's our 1 minute. Excellent. Okay, not too bad, right? But those triceps are starting to burn a little bit. We're starting to warm up and get ready to move a little bit. Now, the next exercise we're going to be doing is also going to work the triceps and the shoulders a little bit more, but it's also going to work your legs and your hip flexors a little bit, being able to move those legs to the outside, which is great for Taekwondo. This exercise is called walk the plank. So I'm going to get down here on the floor. It's a pretty basic exercise, but it does take a little bit of coordination. So I'm going to start with my feet close together and my hands fairly close together in a push-up position. From here, I'm going to step out with one foot, out with one hand, and then in with one hand and in with one foot. And then we go the other way. Out, out, in, out, out, in. And we're just going to go back and forth. We're going to do that for about 1 minute. Hope you guys have got plenty of room to do this at home. If you not, go ahead and pause the video and get to a place where you can do this exercise. All right, here we go. 1 minute of these. Ready, set, go. Out, out, in, out, out, in. Excellent. As you're moving through these, you can also move quicker or slower depending on your skill level, depending on how hard you want to push yourself. What you're going to find is that at first these seem really easy, and then later on through the exercise, your body starts to realize just how difficult all these little bitty motions with your extensor muscles are going to be. You guys are doing great. Just keep it up. Nice and simple, nice and smooth. Don't get in too much of a hurry and fall over. If this exercise is really difficult for you, you can just hold a push-up position and work that core strength and that shoulder strength. If it's really easy for you, feel free to pop up on your fingertips or to go super wide into what we would call a Superman position way down here, and then back up and then out. I'm sorry, not Superman. Wrong guy. And time. Very good. Spider-Man, of course, not Superman. All right, the next exercise we're going to be doing is called squat kicks. Squat kicks, again, are pretty basic, but basics are really important. We want to make sure we're training all the muscles we need so that we can be great martial artists for the long term. So, A squat kick is super simple. All you're gonna do is you're gonna put your feet shoulder width apart. Your hands are gonna be up in front of you. Always practicing that guard position, right? If we're training for self-defense, we wanna make sure that we're training so that our body naturally comes to this guarded position. Now, from here, we're simply gonna bend our knees and try to sit down. What we're looking for is to have a 90-degree angle between our quads, these muscles right here in the tops and fronts of your legs. We wanna have a 90-degree angle where our shins are going down here, and they're gonna bend back a little bit, and that's okay. But what we don't wanna do is lean way out like this. We wanna make sure we keep our heels on the floor, and we're trying to make sure that our quads are parallel with the floor. All right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna squat down, boom, and then we're gonna stand up, and we're going to, boom, throw a great front kick. You can choose to either do ball of the foot kicks, or you can do the top of the foot kick, which is a more classic World Taekwondo style. All right, we're gonna do these for about 1 minute, alternating feet. Ready, and begin. For demonstration purposes, I'm gonna alternate between using the ball of my foot to strike inward and using the top of my foot to strike upward. Don't worry too much about kicking super high right now. Worry about practicing that balance, making sure you're going down nice and deep in those squats. Don't forget to breathe. Make sure you're engaging that core in those kicks, bringing those legs up nice and high. We've got about 15 seconds left. You guys are doing great. And time. Well done. Give yourself a little hand there. Excellent. So that goes through our strength portion of our exercise today. If you need to stop and get a drink or anything, please feel free to do so. Right now, we're going to move into our balance portion. So for the month of July, Vertical Journey Martial Arts members are working on two things: balance and self-discipline. One of the reasons we're doing this challenge is because we want everybody to be able to work on that self-discipline and know what to do. Now, the other reason is because I want everybody to really improve that balance. So today we're going to work on something called skating. Balance is pretty cool if you can just stand in one place and not fall over. But most people can do this. So we're gonna add some movement, all right? We're gonna do something called skating. Here's how it works. We're gonna kind of get into a little bit of a crouch position here. Not way down low here, but just a little crouch position. Our hands are gonna be up. We're working on this balance here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna step to one side, tuck this other foot behind us, and hold this position. Now when you do it slow, this isn't too difficult. Then we're gonna hop to the other side, boom, and go here. We're gonna allow a little bit of a hip twist here, and then we're gonna hop back and forth. Boom. If this is really, really easy for you, you can hop and then kick and then bring it back and hop and kick and bring it back. And you can really work that lateral movement with your balance as well. If this is really difficult for you, you can just stand on one leg and then switch here nice and narrow. All right? We're gonna do these for about 1 minute. Here we go. Get ready. Get set and go. I'm gonna hold that position a little bit. Practice sinking down into that without losing our balance here. Keeping those hands up, eyes forward. Nice and easy. You don't have to jump very far. You can jump if you'd like to. You can jump higher and far, a greater distance. Forgive my terrible grammar there. But you don't have to. All we're doing is practicing being able to move from one foot to the other with balance and coordination. Don't forget, if you're doing that advanced version, kick all the way out, get good extension, and come back in. Back to the other side, and this side, and this side, and this side. Good. This is really going to help you when you're sparring or when you're training for those kicks, being able to move from one foot to the other. It's also going to help you with your self-defense. Maybe there's something in the road or wherever you're doing your battle with the bad guy. All right, excellent, good job. Awesome. All right, the next exercise we're gonna be doing is slow kicks. These are very, very simple. You may need something to hang on to if your balance is not that great. I'm gonna try to do it without hanging on to something because I want to improve my balance, but If you're really struggling with balance, or if you're just starting in this, you may want something to hang on to, like a chair or a couch, maybe a wall you can just put your hand on. I don't want you to go in here and like hug onto it, right? Okay, I want you to just put one hand or even maybe just one finger so that you can really work on that balance. As we're training balance, we're training all those little bitty ligaments and muscles that surround our joints and support them so that we can train safely later on. That's one of the reasons we love to start with balance. Okay, so these balance kicks work like this. We're gonna start super simple with a front kick. We're gonna have our hands up. We're gonna be in a fighting stance. In my case, I'm in a right leg back fighting stance. If you're gonna mirror me, you'll be in a left foot back fighting stance. So our hands are up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pick up our leg, bring our knee up, pointing our toes to the ground. Nice and slow. We're gonna extend out, bring it back, and set it down. That's about the speed we're gonna do all of these kicks today. So we're gonna start with front kicks, and then we're gonna jump into side kicks and roundhouse kicks. We're gonna do about 10 on each leg, so just try to keep up with me, okay? Hands up, here we go. Front kicks. Up, pointing those toes, extending out, back, and down. That's one. Up, out, back, and down. Up, out, back, and down. You'll notice you'll tend to lean back just a little bit. That's okay, just don't lean back really far. You want to work on really making these quads and hip flexors pull everything up and extend out without leaning too far back to counterbalance. Excellent. 4 more. Allow your shoulders to rotate slightly with this kick, and allow this bottom foot to rotate slightly as well. Point it to the outside. We don't want to go a full 90 degrees here, but just a little pivot is great. 1 more. Excellent. Okay, there's number 1. Let's go ahead and switch and do our left leg. Here we go. Hands are up. Ready? Up, kick, in, out. Nice and slow. Up, kick, in, and out. If you can do these higher, do them higher. If you can't do them this high, don't worry too much about it. Just do them lower. Work on that balance. You're also going to find that you tend to be a little bit better with your dominant side. You tend to be able to go a little bit higher and have a little bit better balance. But your technique will tend to be better with your left leg, or with your non-dominant side, in my case, my left leg. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't get in too much of a hurry. 9. 1 more. Make it your best one. Up, extend, retract, and down. That's 10. Excellent work. Okay, should be feeling a little bit of a burn here in the front of your legs. That's great. We're going to switch and we're going to use the side of our body now. We're going to do side kicks. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand in a completely bladed fighting stance, okay? So if I was going to be facing you and fighting here, my toes would be aimed almost completely sideways from you with a little bit of an angle towards you, because I'm setting up for this, boom, great side kick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend my opponent's over here. I'm going to have my hands up here to keep balance. I don't want to swing my hands way out here because this will actually throw me off balance. I'm going to keep them in nice and tight. I'm going to allow my back foot to pivot. My other leg is going to come up with my knee in front of my belly button, and then I'm simply going to extend out, boom, and pull it back. Now, if you're more advanced, you may want to, instead of keeping your foot flat, you may want to blade your foot a little bit here so that you're using that edge of the foot and the heel to kick with. All right, so we're going to do 10 of these on each side. Hands are up, facing your target, ready, and chamber, kick, rechamber, down, that's 1. Out, back, and down. See, sometimes I even struggle with this balance here. Up, out, back, down, up, out, back, and down. That's number 4. Keep it going. Up, out, back, and down. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent job. Let's go ahead and switch that and do the other side. Hands are up, out, back, down. That's 1. Up, out, back, down. That's 2. Up, out, back, and down. 3. Up for 4. Excellent. Keep going. Keep your eyes on that target, extending that heel toward the target, really working that full extension on the leg and the pivot on the bottom leg. 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Excellent job. Okay, we've got one more exercise with our kicks today, and that's going to be roundhouse kicks. Please feel free to grab hold of something if you need to balance. But what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get our roundhouse kick to come up. Our knee should be almost in line with our hip here, maybe slightly in front. We want our heel pulled back behind us, and we're going to kick. Bam, just like that. We're going to kick 10 times, kind of slow, and then we're going to set that foot down. Here we go. Hands are up, pivoting that bottom leg, chambering the leg, the knee, and kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent job. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Hands are up. Lift that knee, pivoting that bottom foot. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent job. All right. If you're new to this, your hips are probably screaming at you right now. That's okay. We're going to make sure we get a good stretch on those. All right. We've got one more quick exercise, and then we're going to stretch out just a little bit. Thank you guys for hanging with me so far. You're doing great. So these are going to be our horse stance punches. We're going to put our feet double shoulder width apart. We're going to sit down into that stance just a little bit. We're going to have our hands, boom, right here on our hips with our elbows pulled back nice and tight. Now we're just going to punch, boom, out into the center of our body, not up here, not down here, and definitely not out to the side here. We want to make sure they're right in the center of our body, and we're going to alternate hands. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, that was pretty good, but let's go a little bit lower here. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, don't forget to breathe, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Very good. All right. You guys have done such a great job today. Let's stretch out just a little bit. Let's take our left hand and let's reach across our body, hug behind it here, and stretch out that tricep a little bit. I usually like to tell the kids to grab their ear back here. That helps them put this hand in the right position to make sure they get a good stretch. Thank you all for joining me today. It's been great having such a great audience. Make sure to comment if there was something that was really hard for you or something that really, really worked a muscle group that you're excited about. Relax and switch to the other side. Don't forget, we're going to be doing these every morning for the last 20 days of July. Now, if you catch these videos later on and we're not in July anymore, don't worry, you can still join the challenge and jump in for those 20 days of Taekwondo. I bet everybody's going to have a great time learning here. I know that I am, and it's going to be fun to do these together. Okay, last stretch we're going to do, we're going to work those hips just a little bit. We're going to put our feet double shoulder width apart. I call this the rainbow stretch. We're going to make a little circle above us, and we're going to stretch way over to this side, stretching all that connective tissue between the hip and the abdominal muscles here on the side of the body. Reach, reach, reach. Some people find that this doesn't give them a good stretch, but if you'll reach out and kind of pull on this wrist, you should get a nice stretch here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reach over to the other side. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent job. You guys have done great this morning. I'm super excited for what's going to happen for the next 20 days. Stick with us. Don't forget to like, share, and follow if you're on Facebook or on Instagram. We look forward to having you guys with us. Comment with your favorite exercise and let us know how we did today. Bye.